Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Facial Recognition Comedy Podcast. Did I do that right?
Yeah, that was perfect. Can you tell us who you are?
Oh, I'm Priyanka Wali.
What a voice change there. You fooled us all. This is Sammy Obeid.
I'm Fizit Asani.
And I'm Zara Ali. Pallavi is out today, but we replaced her with two brown comedians.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
2 for 1 on the Browns.
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Or rather staying, because you were recording your podcast right before this.
It was convenient. It was very convenient.
Yeah, it was. We just hung out for an additional 10 minutes, and then you guys showed up. So
4 hours, man, of podcasting. You guys are beasts.
yeah,
It'll be 5. Yeah,
5.
I mean, shoot.
yeah, we are beasts.
Yeah,
I guess that would
definitely.
be appropriate.
Technically.
Yeah, like
We're animals.
the good beasts.
Yeah, we're the good beasts.
Yeah, although I don't believe in good and bad in the cosmic sense. But like it's a positive.
There's no bad beasts.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I feel like the terminology is all mixed up now, because today in 2019, being a beast is a good thing. Like beast mode is
Right,
like
yeah,
it's like a compliment. But when if someone calls you a monster, you're like horrible. You're like evil. So it's like I tried to explain this to like a baby boomer 2 months ago. They're like, I don't understand these millennials and what they're saying during my meetings.
Right.
And they're like, all right, well, what's a monster? I'm like, that's a horrible person. They're like, okay, but then is beast mode like that you're a horrendous mode? I'm like, no, it's different. I'm sorry. I hate millennials because we don't understand English.
But
That's
if you're
true.
even better than a beast, you're a monster.
See, like that. So you could be good. You could be a good
context.
monster or a
Yeah.
bad. I don't know.
You're a monster. You're a monster.
No, I feel they're even using it in Game of Thrones now.
Yeah.
Like, has anyone watched Game of Thrones?
Yeah.
Like, if anyone's a monster, like they're an evil person.
Okay,
Right,
I see.
right.
Like, it's very confusing.
Yeah, that's pretty confusing.
Maybe we should bring the negative beast back. Like, you are a beast.
See, that doesn't even sound right
I like
now.
the positive
It
beast.
doesn't. It's very-
I like the beast mode
it's
beast,
archaic.
right?
Yeah, because like the only beast I know is from the Disney movie. And I mean,
Beauty and
he
the
turned
Beast.
from Booty and the Beast, and he turned out to be a good guy.
Booty and the beast.
Booty and the Beast.
What movie was that?
Booty and the Beast. That was a
I'm
porn.
sure that's a porn. Yeah,
porn
for
on
sure.
Disney.
Booty
Disney
and
is
the
really
Beast.
1,
changing up their
2, 3,
viewership.
55.
I'm sorry, I just have Booty on the
Seen all of
mind.
Booty and the Beast?
Booty is just always on my mind for some reason. Probably because every
it should
comedian,
be.
every comedian talks about booty.
Booty is vital.
I don't know.
Does every comedian really?
I spent 3 hours at an open mic, so
my
yeah,
God.
there's just a lot of booty
You're a
talk.
beast.
Why did you do
You're a
that?
beast. You're a monster.
Are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I just it was 3 separate open mics, each an hour long, but I'm running roast jokes for tomorrow. I'm getting ready for a roast battle tomorrow,
right,
so I'm just
right.
like running, material and stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah,
that's true.
it's usually when you're getting ready for something, you have to put yourself through the pain of open mics.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, it's so
That's it.
painful.
I don't know, but I feel like you guys have probably surpassed the open mic hell that is Los Angeles.
Didn't I see you at an open mic recently?
That was a bar show.
Oh, right,
I
right,
feel
right,
like
right.
that's like a tier above
Sure.
the open mic.
Right. I know.
It's true.
I was on my way to an open mic. But no,
you gotta work new stuff out.
Yeah.
That's true.
Like, so I don't know.
I think, as your years progress in comedy, if there's a mic near your house and
Yeah.
you can slide on without having to sign up and you do the mic.
The
Yeah.
convenient mic,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, why not?
The one you can get
Exactly.
business done at.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
work stuff out.
it's for a workout, right? Like
Yeah.
sometimes, and especially in a market like LA where there's like 19 million comedians,
Right.
sometimes like you can't get on like that,
You got
like,
that from the census, right?
it's from the census.
That's exactly
There's officially 19 million comedians in Los Angeles, and there's 20 million people. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes the only way you can get up is if you do an open mic.
Yeah. And
somewhere.
they still hurt. I mean, it doesn't.
So painful.
Yeah. But it can be a good hurt.
Her humbling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Definitely.
you guys are superstars. Like, yeah, Sammy, you've been on TV. You were on Last Comic Standing, and Like you're touring internationally. Like I feel like you're a household name. Like my mom saw you on TV and she's like, why can't you do what he's doing? And I'm like, okay, Mom, that's, I'll ask him why. I
Specifically,
can't do it.
what did she mean? Like just being on TV or like the jokes that I was making?
No, I think it was just like, look, this is a dude that made it. Why can't you make it?
Yeah.
So your mom's basically like, why aren't you a dude?
Well, that's always been the case.
Why can't you be like this dude?
No, I think my dad, since I was born, it's like, oh, if only you were born a boy kind of thing. But
why can't you be a dude?
No, but whenever my mom sees any like South Asian American or any person of color really that she feels like I was in AP calculus with, she's like, why can't you do what they're doing?
She probably saw me make a math joke. That's probably what it was.
Maybe. It could have been it. Do you do math jokes? Is that in your repertoire?
I do.
That's
and I did them
thing,
on Last
right?
Comic. Yeah. That's my thing. So, yeah, no, I've definitely, there's a few households that know of me.
Yeah.
One of them is the Ali household in New
knows of
Jersey.
me.
Yep.
Check. Jersey?
Yeah, in Jersey. How'd you know?
She actually just
Oh,
said it.
sorry, I missed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So cool. Well, that's cool. No, that's always nice. It's always humbling.
How's your experience or journey been since Last Comic Standing?
It's actually been good. That surprisingly, that it did give me a boost. I wasn't expecting that because it was such a short, appearance.
How many appearances did you make?
It was two episodes. Yeah. But and it's not like something that's online. Like I don't think you can really find it online unless you really, really dig. So like it's not on YouTube.
It's on
or
YouTube.
anything.
It's not?
No.
Oh.
So you either had to be watching that night or you have to be digging through like the old archives of Last Comic Standing to see it.
Or you still have to have it in your DVR.
Yeah, exactly. I recorded it and I have it all. I have it all saved on my laptop.
Oh,
But,
So what kind of boost did you get from that?
Well, for the credit was good. So like being able to use the credit and it definitely helped me like gain headlinership some places.
Nice.
And occasionally, like, there's people who I'll see the show and they'll be like, "Oh, I saw you on Last Comic Standing," and I was like, because I didn't really think a lot of people watch that show. Some people do. Some people who like stand-up comedy and like to watch network TV.
I mean, it was network television. That's a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
Two network appearances is a lot of exposure.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, I did gain like 1,000 followers like for the night that it came out. So it was a nice little boost.
Yeah. When was this?
This was 2015. This was 4 years ago. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can use that credit forever.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
will die with that credit on my coffin.
On your grave.
Yeah.
It's going on your tombstone.
As featured on Last Comic Standing.
Yeah. Season 9.
He was a good comic. Rest in peace.
2 appearances, man.
What would you want on your grave, though? I've never thought about that.
What do you want on your tombstone? Like, here lies...
Probably like something like a pie reference.
Oh, yeah, math.
Because of math jokes?
Yeah.
Do you guys, I don't know. I kind of want to be cremated.
I'm definitely going to get cremated. Yeah, for sure.
Like someone digging up my body.
But is that more of like a religious thing?
No,
or?
I just think because my uncle died last week, and
sorry.
It's fine. He got cremated, and I have a few things about this. Number one, the modern day cremation, they like just put you in the chamber. Not you, but they put the dead body in the chamber, and then they close it, and then you just press a button, and that's it. Whereas, like, in India, they would actually burn them out in the open and you could see them slowly burning.
Like disintegrating.
And to be really honest, I think psychologically for me, it would have been more therapeutic to see him slowly burning than to just press a button. Because then it's like he's gone. I think it's actually really traumatic to be like, there's his body and now it's like in this chamber and now he's gone. Like, to me, that's so like sterile.
It's kind of too much like Easy Bake Oven. Like, this is not okay.
I think like
it's too easy.
It's too
to
easy.
push a button.
Who knows? Maybe by the time I do pass away, like we will change the way we think about this, and they will allow for like open cremations to happen. But I would like an open cremation.
I feel like Game of Thrones is already changing that,
right? Because they do open cremations in the show.
Like,
spoiler alert.
Honestly,
Sorry.
I think it's also good for the environment because they would then take the ashes and either throw them like in a river, but I think it's important for the ashes to go into the soil too because it actually like makes the soil more nutrient rich.
Yeah, but you know how many worms and bacteria are like missing out on a meal?
Because it's not getting buried?
Yeah.
I mean, that's fair too.
Yeah,
you can't mess up the
little
ecosystem.
baby
I just don't.
Yeah.
We're overpopulated. People are getting buried and burned. Like,
fine.
everyone's going to get fed.
That's
be
true.
fine.
I mean, with overpopulation, there's not going to be enough room to bury people.
Yeah,
So
I'm for it. I mean, people are turning. They have they have trees now where you could turn your loved one. You could bury them in with like a tree and plant this tree, and then, you got your mom tree or your grandma tree.
Well, that's kind of like a cool tombstone.
Yeah, I would do something like that too. Yeah. I want a little bit of everything. Like bury my leg, cremate my arms, and then make a tree out of the rest of me.
Can humans be taxidermied?
I mean, technically anything could be.
Who offers the service?
Like
I don't know.
creeps, psychopaths.
Yeah, I don't know if
Somebody's.
people-
I mean, have you ever seen that before?
I've never
I've seen the
that.
bodies exhibit.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's
Whoa.
super cool. Yeah.
Maybe.
But I think they use it's a different process to preserve the bodies, so it's not like they're not stuffing them.
That would be really weird. I mean, that's got to be like illegal or something.
They're not plush.
Right? Like that's got to be. I don't know.
They're not plush. I haven't been to the bodies exhibit yet.
It's
I've been
cool.
wanting to go.
It's cool. I went with my family, and they've all been to medical school, so they all just walked right through it. They're like, yeah, whatever. And I was like, this is the coolest thing because they're all real bodies.
Yeah.
It's a little suspect how they got a hold of the bodies from what I heard. Like they're
Aren't they all prisoners from China?
Wait, what? No, they all donated their bodies.
They
for
all
this.
donated their bodies?
Oh, okay, cool.
They say that in the beginning of the exhibit, like
okay.
all of these, or maybe it's the end. They're like, thank you to all these people that donated their body for this.
Well, I've heard different things.
I've heard
you
different
heard?
things too.
That they're stolen bodies, or I don't know. But I really did enjoy the exhibit. I think you should go see it. It's there was two people like copulating, so they.
Wait, what? I'm sorry, that's a big word.
Wait, are we not allowed to
Fornicating.
swear?
They were fornicating?
Yeah, they were.
Wait, they killed them and
they
wait,
didn't
what?
kill
What's
them. No,
happening?
they're-
They died while fornicating.
They were trying to demonstrate intercourse.
What position were they?
Wait,
in?
what?
Missionary?
A missionary, but I think they were kind of cut open.
That's like 2 counts of
amazing.
You can see the
necrophilia
different
right there.
layers of the body.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. That's weird.
Double necrophilia.
That's weird.
Right.
Yeah,
That is very weird.
Well, the weird thing is these were two bodies, and
But they agreed to do that. Like when they were
No, I
on their
don't know.
deathbed, they're like, "All right, you know what? When I die, take my body to the
I
body."
would.
I don't
love
think that
to
they
meet that
specified that,
person.
but yeah.
And I want to be preserved, fucking for all of eternity.
I mean,
like, is that it?
Can you imagine?
I don't
meeting
think
a
they
person
knew.
like that? I would love to have a conversation with someone who's like that.
I don't think
But
I
also,
want to
you
be
can't
near
see
a
their
person.
you don't see
like
their
that.
facial features because
Okay.
it's everything is below the skin.
So they remain anonymous.
It's not facial
Not unless
recognition.
unless you can recognize their bone structure or something.
don't
You're like,
know.
those cheekbones are definitely.
I
Zara.
feel like I've dated
Someone's
some
like,
guys that would
"Mom,
definitely
is that
remember
you?"
me. Yeah. I
but
don't know. Well, I heard the whole thing. Like, I've heard that most cadavers in med school are like Chinese men. That's I've had friends who've been to med school in America, and they're like, yeah, a lot of the cadavers are Chinese men.
Statistically, though, that checks out.
Probably. There's just like former prisoners from China, like overpopulation of prisons in China, and they donated their bodies to science, and so now a lot of them are cadavers.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
They
I don't know. I'm
donated?
asking you because for our listeners, Priyanka Wali is also a medical doctor. So, but you in med school. In med school, you didn't have Chinese cadavers?
My cadaver in med school was this cute little white woman, tiny white woman. She wasn't Asian. At least I don't think she was Asian. Yeah.
Turns out she was an Asian man.
Oh dear.
I mean, like, yeah, I don't know if my sister. I think she got like, I think she got someone that she. Did she say she recognized someone? That would be horrifying if you get a cadaver and you recognize.
Oh, like they had some
The body.
tattoo that you knew about.
Or you just.
So here's an interesting med school story. This not our cadaver, but the ones right next to us. They were doing the dissection, and then they found a piece of orange in the cadaver's throat. which means that's how that person died.
died?
They choked on an orange.
Oh my God, that's
and
so
like
sad.
nobody had obviously like figured it out. The person was super old, but they were like, oh, she just died or he just died.
Oh,
but,
there was no like autopsy?
No, because they were old. Yeah.
So was it like a piece of orange?
It was a perfectly preserved piece of orange because the process that they do, all the formaldehyde and stuff, it was just like
Peel or no peel?
it was not peeled. It was, you know, when you like take an orange and you take like
Slice
the
the
fourth,
wedge.
you unpeel it and then you cut out or you just like rip off a wedge.
Yeah.
It was like that.
It was just a wedge, like an orange wedge.
Yeah, it was like, but
Without
it
the
wasn't.
peel.
It wasn't a single wedge. It was like maybe like 3 of them together,
But
So
no
it was-
peel?
Guys,
no
pull
peel.
apart your fruit before
don't
you
eat all
try
that
to
for
ingest
sure,
it.
and chew it.
My goodness, chew
Maybe
your
it was
food.
a suicide attempt.
Oh my gosh!
By fruit.
Death by
Yeah.
orange.
death by fruit. I wonder if
That's amazing.
That can't be the first time that's happened,
No.
or the millionth.
No,
I don't
the
know.
Oranges killed many.
Well,
Oranges are
poisonous,
deadly.
poisonous oranges. But yeah, I guess people choke on food every day.
Poisonous oranges.
I don't know. I've been watching way too much Game of Thrones. Like it's just like I started a month ago and I'm caught up.
That's
You're a
insane.
monster.
You're a beast.
No, it's just
Monster mode.
I have become a monster. I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, he got killed, he got killed, she got killed, everybody got killed.
Do you like it? Are you loving it?
I do like the whole like chess match part of it, like I like all the political intrigue and stuff. I have a new appreciation for boobs. Yeah, there's just. Do you guys watch
you
the
never
show?
watched HBO before?
I used to,
Watched
but
an
then I
episode.
got behind.
Okay, I've watched Showtime and
Yeah.
HBO. I was expecting boobs, but like I don't know, with it's like they show a lot of like like medieval boobs. So like pre-plastic surgery boobs. So I'm not used to seeing like
yeah.
boobs of a variety, like skinny boobs, pointy boobs, wide boobs, fat boobs, like boobs that are spread apart. And it's just like, wow, like I feel like my boobs belong in Hollywood now, like I feel
I think
like
it's really important that they show diverse boobs.
yeah, like I finally a diversity in Hollywood that
we are not the same boob.
I don't know. So wait, Sammy, you're not into the whole boobs that are a part of Game of Thrones? Like you saw one episode and you're like, this is way too much boob for me.
I don't even remember if my episode had boobs.
That's
feel
not
Maybe that's
possible.
why I didn't tune back in.
I don't think that's possible, honestly.
Boobless episode.
The first episode, I don't think there were boobs in the first.
No, there were definitely boobs in the first episode.
I watched a few episodes scattered around a few seasons.
Okay, got it.
I think it was like, when did it come out? 10 years ago?
Oh my
I'm
god,
gonna say
is it that
they're
long?
on season 8 now.
Oh
so,
my god!
But I think some
I
of
have
the
a lot of
shooting
catching up to do.
Yeah,
Took a year and a half.
but
Some season.
Well, aren't they worried that the original author is going to die or something? That's the whole thing.
well, so the original author is no longer writing the script. So like
They're flashing so many boobs, they're just running out of text.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's part of it. But also, like, you can tell if you've been watching the show, like, you can tell, like, the writing's, like, dropped off. And it's also the last season, so they're just going through the checklist of trying to wrap up every single storyline.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, is they have all these storylines to wrap up and, 6 episodes?
Yeah,
6 episodes.
It's going to get messy.
And also, the source is not available anymore because the books ended after a certain point, so now they're just making it
They're
up.
just making shit up.
Whereas, like, with the books, like, you had all of these details to choose from.
Did you read the books?
I didn't.
No. I wish I did, no. But I never make time to read anymore. I just, for some reason, I found time in my schedule to binge 8 years worth of Game of Thrones in a month. But I don't know. Reading actually makes me fall asleep.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So are you guys obsessed or binging on anything right now?
I am.
Yeah.
It's a really weird, like French sitcom on Netflix.
Which
What is
one?
it?
It's called 10%. It's about these agents, these acting agents in Paris, and they're hustling. And I'm like kind
Is
of
it in
obsessed
French?
with. It's in French.
You in French culture.
Yeah,
You're fluent in French.
no, I'm
No?
not.
She's fluent in French.
Frenchmen. Yes.
I have a weakness.
A weakness for Frenchmen?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a long story.
Okay.
It's a really long story.
Well, we have 40 minutes, so let's
have
get
time
into
if
it.
you
Wait,
wanna-
you really want to?
If you want to dip a toe into it.
Sammy, do you have an aversion or a weakness or anything to any type of
Frenchmen.
Frenchmen.
Definitely
French
Frenchmen.
women.
Oh my god. Do I have a racial fetish? Is that what you're asking me? You want to just beat around the bush
or
here?
is there a vice? Is there like a
French a race?
Like I feel like Fizza has weed, Priyanka has Frenchmen, I have Game of Thrones apparently.
What's your?
We all have Game of Thrones also.
Okay,
We and Game of Thrones and Frenchmen.
What are you indulging way too much in?
I do have a problem. I have a problem. It's shopping at Whole Foods.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's interesting. What specifically about Whole Foods?
I'm just addicted to like going there and just buying stuff.
The experience?
Yeah, it removes me from everything, and I spend too much time there. I'm
wow.
very, very finicky about like what I eat, so I like to pick out like the right food. Like when I pick out a piece of produce, I like to make sure it's the best. I used to work at a produce stand, so I'm like very keen on like what's a good ripe piece of produce. You know, I want to maximize, especially if I'm paying like $1 for a banana, at Whole Foods. But I go there; it's therapeutic, but it's become addictive to the point where like I'm there. For
That's a very expensive addiction.
very much, yeah.
Are you going to be okay? Do we need an intervention for you?
Well, I'm going to get a new credit card that gives me reward points, so I think I'll be fine. I get 3% back.
I love the
annual
deli at
fee.
Whole Foods.
Oh yeah, there's just so many things there.
Yeah, they have a nice deli. They always have this grilled salmon. It's so good.
Yeah, I like their hot bar.
Their hot bar is
Yeah,
really good
it's
too.
pretty good.
Although I don't.
It's also like $9 a
Yeah,
pound.
see,
So I'm
that's the
like,
thing,
I'm not
like-
going to be doing this. too
like
often.
you don't want to go to the hot bar and like get an egg versus like a bunch of salad, right? Because the egg's going to cost a
by
lot
weight.
more because it's by weight.
Yeah, well, that's like any bar or buffet. You want to make sure that you're
Yeah.
getting your
Lightest
money's
stuff
worth.
possible.
So full disclosure, I do get stuff at the hot bar and then I'll like pick at it and eat it a little bit before actually paying for it.
I've done that.
Oh, you're
not
that
because-
kind of Indian.
But it's not
Yeah,
because I'm cheap. It's not because I'm cheap. It's because I'm always hungry when I go to Whole Foods. And then when I get the hot bar, I'm like so hungry. I just want to eat like a few bites. But I probably have like,
Just take
taken
a
like
few cents off.
50 cents or something.
I really hope nobody from Whole Foods corporate is listening to our podcast.
They're
right
going to
now.
arrest me at Whole Foods.
They,
Can
you know what?
imagine?
Someone has been arrested at Whole Foods.
For doing what?
This was in the news like 2 years ago, where a woman, I think a man accidentally he forgot to take I think it was just like a bag of fruit or a bag of apples out of his cart. And like basically it wasn't on his receipt when he was leaving or something like that, and he got legitimately
wow.
arrested
They
for theft.
arrested him?
For theft, yeah.
Even though he had a receipt and purchased all these other items.
He purchased everything else, but he just forgot. I guess he forgot to take that one item out of the cart to put it on the, the conveyor
How
belt.
about them apples?
Yes. So yeah, like there was a whole I want to say it was like a BuzzFeed article about
Wow.
it,
That's
about this man
terrible.
who's like,
That's outrageous.
and like I think he got a lawyer, and they went back into his finances, and between him and his wife, they had spent $30,000 that year on Whole Foods. And for him,
That's
How much
so
were those
sad.
apples?
I don't know.
That's so
I
It's
don't
like
know.
me too. I maybe even more. I don't
It's
know.
Whole Foods apples, so maybe it was like a $50 bag of apples.
Yeah.
I don't know, like-
Maybe.
Well, here's the thing about Whole Foods that a lot of people don't know. You can take back any item at any time for any
Yeah.
reason.
Oh, really?
You
I didn't
could
know
even have already eaten part of the item, and you can take it back.
So is that what you do?
I do, but I don't abuse it. So, like, for instance, if I go there and I buy, like, a carton of milk and I realize that I'm not going to use it because I'm going on the road or something, I'll go return it. Like,
Wow.
if I go there and I eat something and it tastes like moldy or just
Yeah, that's
not right,
fair.
I
Yeah.
take it back.
Yeah, of
You
course.
live right by a Whole Foods.
Yes.
That must be,
That's right. Yeah.
that's got to be tricky.
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I can walk
It
there.
feeds
Yeah,
your
I can-
habit too.
Absolutely, absolutely. If it was a little further, it would be. But they all know me there. Like
Yeah.
we're not like friends, but they know me because they're like I'm always there. I'm always there, and I'm always taking really long, and I'm like messing up displays, and like I know they know me.
Yeah.
You're that guy. But then are
Yeah.
you also the guy that tries all the free samples and stuff?
No, I used to be that guy. I'm not that guy anymore.
Wow.
Why? Because have you tried all the free samples there are? And you're kind of
you've
tired.
evolved past that.
Yeah, that used to be who I was. I used to love going to Costco and getting the free samples. I used to
Dude,
love
I
going to
grew
the-
up on free samples from Costco. Like
Yeah.
that was our weekend
Yeah.
activity.
Yeah,
It's like we
totally.
didn't go to Disney. We went to Costco.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
that's what we
totally.
did.
Yeah, you would have
circle
lunch
the mall
there.
food courts,
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
get all
for
those
sure.
little pieces of chicken, and
Yeah.
and I would pick at the go to the bulk foods, pick out the things, sample them.
Yeah.
I used to be that guy.
So what changed? Was there a separate intervention of sampling foods?
It just, I can't even tell you exactly what changed. I think I definitely overdid it for sure. And like it ruined my appetite because every time I would go there and I would just binge on samples and then I would have no appetite for anything for the rest of my life. So I think that's part of it. And I also think it's kind of like a dignity thing now. Like, no, I pay for my food, you know?
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, I have no issue with free samples.
Yeah, I've been around Fizzo and free samples. It's a thing.
I
don't want to be racist, but I will say, as someone who spends a lot of time at Whole Foods, I go to the bulk food section, I'm always buying stuff, writing down the number on the thing, wrapping it around the thing. Signs that say no grazing, no grazing, no grazing, no samples, no grazing, no samples. Always one Indian man or woman walks up, picks something out shamelessly, puts it in their mouth and leaves. They're always Indian. I'm sorry. Like, it's just that it's always Indian.
It's too tempting. Yeah, of course. I mean, I do that.
She just told you she did.
I mean, it's like really tempting. And honestly, I do it because I'm just hungry when I'm there.
One time, a whole Indian family, a mom, a dad, and their 2 sons, they all came. They took something out of the bin and they just walked off. I'm like, there's a sign that says no sampling.
Yeah, they don't
care.
Know?
Maybe they were hungry,
Oh, yeah.
No, sometimes I feel
they don't care if you're hungry. They don't
honestly,
like to graze.
I just think hunger is such a
I'm not mad at it. I graze.
It's like, I just believe in feeding America, and so like just the idea of people,
and that's why
hungry.
There's also obesity in America because a lot of people believe in this for themselves.
Right, but I'm talking about adequate nutrition, not imbalanced nutrition, which is different. But I support grazing at Whole Foods. I stand for that.
I'm sure they account for it by now.
That's also true. I mean, it's so expensive. I'm sure they account for a lot, but they do have good products.
I mean, they take everything back. Half-eaten, so like they can.
End of the day, who are you screwing over? Jeff Bezos?
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
What I mean?
So
I'm fine with doing
are you a Amazon Prime member?
Absolutely.
So you did the whole thing with them and the app and
like 10% off, right?
I do that, and then I'm going to get the rewards card. I literally went through my budget. Like 70% of my money goes to Jeff Bezos.
Wow,
that's crazy.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
well, now some of it goes to his wife too, right?
Yeah, and when she got that 35 bill settlement, I was like, "You're welcome."
$35 billion. Hey, that's the kind of guy you want to marry, like the guy that has potential, that when you divorce him, you get $35 billion. Like that is the dream of every woman who gets engaged. She's like, man, if this doesn't work out, I would, totally.
That's so funny.
And it's just like, I'm with this guy now, and I'm like, I probably will never divorce him for $35 billion. Like, it makes me sad knowing that fact. It's not a
so hard.
strong likelihood.
Ideas, any apps?
But okay, like I feel that since Amazon took over Whole Foods, the quality of at least like the fish has really diminished. Like the
fish, really?
I think they brought the prices down. But like they used to have a much more kind of locally based selection, and higher quality, and now they've brought all the prices down. And like their farm salmon, I don't think the quality is as good.
The farm salmon is hit or miss. Sometimes I still think it's really good. But I wasn't buying fish before the.
Is all salmon not farm salmon? I just assume
some
most
of it's
salmon
wild
caught. Yeah,
they don't have good wild salmon at all.
There is one fish.
I agree totally.
There is one fish that's only like farm raised. And I forget what it is. I think it's like tilapia or something. One of the white fishes. Yeah,
but a lot of it's farmed in China.
All these corporate fish.
Why would you farm it in China and then send it across the Pacific?
Isn't that crazy?
Same reason that all the Chinese are the cadavers.
Right. They actually bring the fish and the cadavers on the same day.
But like, doesn't fish need to be eaten fresh? Like, it's so confusing to me.
This is such.
I mean, cadavers are already preserved in whatever formaldehyde or whatever.
I'm just impressed that all of you guys cook. Like, invite me over.
I literally have lamb in a slow cooker waiting for me.
Oh, that sounds amazing. Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah,
that's great.
Where'd you get your lamb from?
Where did I get this lamb from? I think I got it from the halal meat store.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Lamb is it's one of the very few meats that you can buy most places, and it's like still good quality.
Yeah.
Like they don't use a lot of hormones in the lamb compared to like beef and chicken.
Yeah. Because I mean, because it's not like there aren't like just like. It's not like cattle that have been being like abused for like you know, generations.
Just a little lamb. You can't abuse a little lamb. You can eat it.
I mean, you're eating it. Yeah.
It's delicious, though.
I love lamb and I love goat.
Oh, I love goat.
I'm such a big fan of goat.
Can't get into goat. I don't know what it is. I just it's like it's too chewy or something for
it
me.
is
I don't
pretty
know.
bony.
Did you grow up eating goat at all?
I didn't. No, my family didn't
Your
really do the
family is
goat
like
thing.
Lebanese, right?
Lebanese, Palestinian.
Yeah,
I,
but you guys-
I can only imagine like over there in the Middle East they eat a good share of goat.
Yeah, I mean, like goat, mutton, lamb, like it's
But
all
lamb,
part of the diet,
it was
right?
just lamb. It was
Just lamb?
yeah. For some reason, my family never did the goat. But
Interesting.
I grew up in Fremont, California, which is just a very brown city,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
there's a lot of goat options there. And I've recently tried them, and I can't get into it.
Not your
Interesting.
thing. I've been on. So I when I first moved to LA, my mom was like she was very convinced that I would find my husband in California, and she was like she set me up with this like matchmaking auntie that I did not want to be set up with, and this is relevant because. All the guys that this matchmaking auntie would set me up with, they were all from Fremont.
Oh,
Of course.
interesting.
Like,
That's a good auntie right there.
there was like 6 of them from Fremont, and I'm like, why am I agreeing to this? Like, I'm not moving to Fremont. They're not moving to Los Angeles.
yeah.
But yeah,
It's tough.
It was interesting. They came to a couple of shows in the
Fremont's
Bay.
pretty legit.
Really?
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, you're from there.
I'm from there.
Yeah. What would you call like the stereotypical person from Fremont?
Well, they're either Indian, Pakistani, Afghani.
Yeah.
Brown.
They're brown.
And do all the Browns get together? Like, do y'all harmonize and stuff?
Yeah,
Harmonize?
Yeah. I mean,
No,
you know.
I mean it's even more diverse than that. There's
Yeah.
a lot of different kinds of Asian. There's still some white people there.
Were there white people in your high school?
Yeah.
Would you say
White
like
people were,
what percentage? Because I went to a very diverse high school as well.
they
so-
were slowly becoming the minority. I think when I started elementary there, white people were still majority.
Yeah, same.
And I
same.
think by the end of my high school, they were, in the 30s, 40%.
That's so funny. I had the same experience on the other side of the country in Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Once I got to high school, like all my classes were like if you were a white person, you were like Doogie Howser. Like you were Doogie. Like if you were an AP Calc and you're white, like you must be Doogie Howser. That's the only way.
That's funny.
There's like 2 white kids in all of our classes. Yeah.
That's such a different experience because, like, I was very much the minority.
Where'd you grow up?
Florida. Yeah, so I mean, if you weren't, like everyone was white or black or so they didn't know what I was,
Right.
until
Cuban. You were Cuban.
yeah, I was Cuban,
Good.
Puerto Rican. I got Puerto Rican a lot until 9/11. And then it's like, oh, everyone suddenly knows what you
Right. Yeah,
what you are.
It's like thanks 9/11 for making everybody ethnically conscious, I guess, or
Yeah,
And a little racist.
yeah. I mean, that's like
Just a little bit.
people were starting to attack Sikhs, so there was still a lot of ignorance. But yeah, it was just sort of like, oh, there's a whole other type of brown. I think that's what people realized. There's scary brown.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
or not.
But it is funny how
I don't think I'm
they
scary.
knew what you were. It was like before, like, you get out of here, you're Puerto Rican / Cuban, and then like after that, I was like, get out of here, you're Pakistani, probably from Karachi, right? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're all probably around the same age, so we were all like high school.
What? I was in elementary school. I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought you were beyond that. Now
I don't
Look at
know.
this. You're all on
I don't-
stage being honest.
I can't decide what I want to do. I don't know what age I want to be in Hollywood right now. I don't know if I want to be my real age or my whatever age I can pass as.
Yeah, for
you know?
sure.
But like we were all like, we weren't in elementary school when
There
it
was a
happened.
teacher. There was a teacher that told us what happened.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you didn't watch it on the news? We were watching it on the news
Yeah, we were
while it
watching
happened.
in
Yeah.
class, yeah.
I
Was it
think
math class?
I was in the East Coast. I was in the East Coast. It was like a early. For some reason, the way that we had like maybe like 4 different like times where
Oh
you
God,
could
you
do
guys
lunch.
are right there.
Yeah. My dad was there
Where? In the
He wa-
city or in the building?
in Manhattan. Like
Oh my God.
Okay, so I don't think I've ever told this 9/11 story on our podcast. So basically, my dad used to, from Jersey, he would commute into the city, and his stop was the World Trade Center. So he would get off at the World Trade Center and then walk 8 blocks to work.
Oh my
So
God.
he would pass by, like that was his daily commute. And so I think. And, like me, my dad was always running late too. But like that day, I think he had gotten to work. So the minute he got to work, I think he like got off the World Trade Center at like 8:30 or whatever. And like he got to work and he said he put his newspaper down. And as soon as he put his newspaper down, the lights flickered, and he was like, "Oh, that's weird." And then that was like around 8:40 something, 45 is when the first plane hit the first tower.
Right. So he was in the other tower?
No. He was 8 blocks away, but he had already come out of the World Trade Center.
I see.
That was a stop. There's like a huge,
he just
the subway.
missed it. It could have been.
Oh my
So
God.
if he had just been on a later train, or if he had been running late that day or whatever, like he would have been stuck.
Were you able to get a hold of him? I'm sure.
No.
That must have been terrifying.
Because the cell towers were down immediately. Like by the time everybody figured out what was going on, all the cell towers were down. It was probably one of the scariest days in my life. Like I don't think I've ever, because we had no idea, because we're like, oh my God, I hope Dad was like on time. Like I hope he's not stuck in there, because that was his stop. That's where you get off. Because a bunch of people that he commutes with, like he never saw again.
Oh my God.
And it was just like the first tower hit, and then like everyone's like, and it felt a little bit like not an earthquake, but like the smaller earthquake. What am I talking? It starts with
tremor.
A tremor.
Yeah.
It felt like a tremor, and they're like, "That's weird. There's no like subway near us. It shouldn't feel like this."
Oh my God.
So then everybody like goes outside, and then that's when everybody sees the second.
Oh, he saw
second
it.
one hit, and then it's
8
like
blocks away. That's so close.
I mean, that's like his view. Like it's downtown. It's the financial district. It's Battery Park. That entire area. So he was telling me like.
Oh my God.
Everybody was shocked. Nobody knew what to do, and people just started running in different directions. And once, like people were you could still see the towers in whatever direction you went, because it's like the highest building in that area. And so like people were seeing like. My dad thought it was like debris just falling, and so like people started running because they didn't want to be knocked over by debris because of the explosion and everything. But then he realized, no, that's like people jumping because like the building was on fire. And it's like, do we stay here or do we just like
So he saw that was one of the most heart breaking things to watch.
It was awful.
It was so crazy. We all like went home early that day from school and like were like glued to the TV screens, and then finally, I think like 6 hours later, we got a hold of him on a payphone.
Oh my God.
They had basically all the buses were like shipping people from the city to like different, like to like Giant Stadium in Jersey and like different places like that, depending on where you were going. So I think my dad got home that day at like 9:30 p.m. or something, and he was just like covered in ashes of the city.
God.
Like it was the most scariest thing. I couldn't even imagine. Like I'm talking about Game of Thrones. Like my dad like lived that going on.
God.
So it was definitely the most like eye-opening thing. And then from there, like, my dad's a Muslim American. He's a very religious man. But like after that, we put flags up like outside, and like my dad started wearing a flag pin every day. But even still, like we've seen so much like, Islamophobia and racism directed towards us, even in our neighborhood and stuff. Like it was very like, hey, I lived through this. Like I lost friends. And so, like, it's just, it kind of ruined it. Not ruined, but it changed our lives forever.
Of course.
We definitely felt it.
Of course.
Have you seen Rami's show yet?
I've started seeing it. It's great.
I love
Speaking
it.
of binge watching, I watched
I binge watched it. I finished
so,
it.
so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
And
What show is
there's an
this?
episode
He has a show on Hulu called Rami.
The 9/11 episode,
Scripted.
like showing when he was a kid and 9/11 happened. I like that episode. I was like, I thought it was great.
They live right there. They lived in Jersey City, which is like literally across the river from where like 9/11 happened.
Like even not growing up on the East Coast, not having like a religious Muslim family, I still related to it because it tells a story of like what every young brown American went through when that happened.
Yeah.
We got to get Rami on here.
Yeah, Rami Youssef. Next time you're in town, if you're listening to this, come by. And everybody go watch Rami. It's on Hulu.
Yeah,
it's
very
Great
good.
show. Very, really good.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, sorry, that was my 9/11.
Man,
That
thanks
was great.
for sharing
Yeah.
that. That's incredible.
I first went to New York City in July 2001.
Not great isn't good. Great isn't good.
July
2001.
So that was right before it happened.
We were visiting my uncle and aunt. And my uncle, they lived in this building uptown. It was like Upper East Side, I think. And from their roof, there was a view of the Twin Towers. Mm-hmm. So I took a picture with my uncle, me and him, and then the Twin Towers. Mm-hmm. And I wrote on the back of the picture, it's like one of those, you know, back then we take the pictures, we get them printed out or whatever, you know. And I wrote on the back 2001, and then I wrote my uncle's name and Twin Towers. Thing is, my uncle's name is jihad.
Oh my God.
Yeah. I had to dispose of that picture.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No.
Yeah, it's like we had to. Everything changed overnight as soon
Yeah.
as they found out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these are Arab dudes. Then who was it? Were they Arab guys?
Yeah,
were they Saudi dudes?
It was-
They're Palestinians,
Palestinians.
Yeah.
Saudis, Egyptian.
Yeah.
The ringleader was Egyptian. I mean, not ringleader. I mean, the ringleader was Bin Laden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposedly, allegedly, we don't really know.
Yeah.
But the guy who was kind of the head of that group was Egyptian. There was one Lebanese guy, unfortunately, to my family, but they say he was like very reluctant to do it. They even they even made like they made
Lebanese never want to do anything. They've never
on,
been to
guys.
war. They don't believe in violence. They're very peaceful people.
It was actually a shock to find out there was a Lebanese guy involved, but they've made actually a few 9/11 movies. I've actually watched them out of curiosity just to see, and like there's different ways of depicting this Lebanese guy and his uncertainty, like the whole period of time, like he doesn't really want it, but he ends up flying that one plane where like the passengers fight back
Yeah.
and almost save it.
Right, the one that goes in the field, right?
But it was like
Was
too
that
late.
the
They
one
were-
that was hitting the Pentagon?
That's the
Or was
United.
headed-
Isn't that
it was-
United 93?
United, yeah.
There was
93.
Yeah.
another one that
Let's
landed in
roll.
a field.
There was
That was
three-
United 93, right? That's
I
the one
believe so.
where
but
they
where?
fought.
What field?
Yeah.
Like where?
It was like
I remember
in
Boston,
Pennsylvania.
In the
New York,
Midwest,
It was in
right?
Pennsylvania.
Okay, got it.
Is
Yeah.
it the Midwest? Pennsylvania or is it East Coast?
East Coast.
East Coast.
Right, because they all didn't.
Oh yeah, Philadelphia. Okay.
They all came from DC to the other place, or where did they originate? I thought they all originated.
LA to New York. All of them were, or New York to LA. They were all.
So they all originated in New York.
Yeah, I think they were all headed towards LA.
I should know this. I knew this like 10 years ago.
Dude,
It was a long time ago.
I just
Yeah.
think
They
it's
were
so
all headed towards LA.
They were all headed towards Hollywood.
I think so. I mean, let me
there's such
double
a
check.
bad
But from
joke
what?
waiting there. Like, after 8 years in Hollywood. Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to make it.
Man, I can't believe they like successfully coordinated all of that. I mean, if
Speaking
you
of,
really
it is
think about
9/11 on our phones right now.
Oh, my God.
wow.
Really weird. What the heck?
I'm
We're
gonna call my
recording
Uncle
this at
Jihad.
9/11.
Oh my god.
When you threw away the picture with Jihad in the back, did you have to rip it up?
Did you have
Yeah,
to shred
yeah,
it? You
that's
shredded it, burn it.
Insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
It is pretty crazy though. Like I will say, like I'm so glad. I mean, you know, there's no amount of just like sheer joy when like you're just like, thank you for making it. But then at the same time, like this guilt and this like pours over you because it's just like, oh man, I can't. I feel sorry for anyone whose parents didn't make it home that day.
Oh my
you know?
god.
But
yeah.
at the same time, like I've never seen New Yorkers be that nice before. Like
After 9/11.
ever. Yeah, like I think it just shifted people's like mindsets and personalities and
Yeah.
like even now like
That's
yeah,
a reset. You know?
it is I think it's like a reset for your soul and it's just like after that I think New York has become safer after that.
Right.
One, because security wise it has to be, but also you know, I grew up in the time where like Tony Sopranos were like everywhere, you
Yeah.
know, like you know, and like I also grew up in times where it's like, you know, Newark was not a place where you wanted to go to, and like New York wasn't really safe at night. And then all of a sudden after that, it's like everybody's friendly, everybody's like kind of paying attention to kids on the street and stuff. Like, hey, like where's your mom?
Right.
It just became Manhattan became a safer place.
Yeah, sure.
So
wow, incredible.
yeah, for sure.
I had no idea that your dad was right there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's an insane story.
Yeah, I was right there.
So you must have known quite a few people that didn't make it then, or who had, or at least friends of friends. family.
You know what? It was because it was later in the morning.
Yeah.
like most people were already at work by then.
Oh.
But there were some people who were probably running late because it was, you know, New Yorkers get to work like early. Like it's, you know, usually by like 8:30, 9, most people are at work. So yeah, I mean, I think my dad shared a commute with a couple of people here and there that were on a later train and they didn't make it. But other than that,
How was your mom doing? Like during that, there was 6 hours of not hearing from him.
It was definitely scary. Like I think she was, but she was also, I think she had known that my dad had gone on the earlier train that day. So
Yeah.
she was like, he probably made it. Like I think in her mind, it's like, he probably made it. He made it.
Oh my
I think it was
God.
just like he made it. he had to have made it.
Yeah.
And then we lived in a suburb of New York, so like all my relatives that live in, like, everybody was in New York. All the grown-ups were in New York that day, you know? So, like, slowly we started getting phone calls from whoever. And, like, luckily, you know, like, people, like, family members, relatives and stuff started meeting up at different, like, points or whatever, or running into each other. And so, like, just through, like, other people meeting, we found out, like, okay, so-and-so is safe, so-and-so is safe, so-and-so is safe. Because no cell towers were working. Like, you were lucky if you were able to get a text through.
No marked safe app back
No,
then.
there was no marked safe. You couldn't mark yourself safe on Facebook or any of that.
Nobody's made a post like that, like marked safe in 9/11. I'm sure some open micer has, actually. Never mind.
So we have a regular who comes to our shows, Ted. And do you know his 9/11 story?
I don't know his 9/11. Do you guys know Ted Brassfield?
Is he the guy that always retweets our tweets?
No, but he's another one of the fans.
He's like one of those white dudes that always comes to every show, right?
Not every show, but he used to.
I mean, I wasn't going to drop his last name, but damn, like...
Sorry.
I mean, that's fine.
He's not listening.
Follow Ted.
Ted is a great, great fan of ours.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
But he, I think he got wasted the night before and overslept and couldn't make his meeting. So he was going to be
way to be irresponsible, dude.
But it saved his life.
Yeah. Sometimes irresponsibility will save you.
So I think he has a drink on 9/11 every year.
Oh, that's sweet.
My gosh.
Yeah. Where were you guys? So everybody else was in school, right?
I was in school. I learned about it. My dad was driving me to school.
Well, you grew up here on the West Coast, right?
Yeah.
You're from Orange County?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, I mean, it was like, what, 5:45 in the morning?
It was seven. It was like, well, it happened at 5, but I didn't find out about it until 7 because I woke up.
It didn't hit you guys until later?
No. Just because of the time difference. Like I didn't like listen to the radio. So my dad always plays the radio on the way there.
Okay.
And then in the radio, then he was like, "Are you listening to this? Like, what's going on?" And then we got to school, and then
because it was, what time was it on the East Coast? 11.
So the first one hit around like 8:40. I want to say 8:46. I just have this in my mind.
So that would have been like 5 in the morning.
Yeah, 5:45 in the morning.
So I didn't find out until 7 in the morning because I was sleeping.
Yeah. So did you all just not go to school that day?
No. I went to school, and then they were like playing the radio and the television every period. We kept going to each period, but like we would just sit there and listen to the news. Yeah. It was bad. It was really bad.
What was your 9/11 experience like, Sammy?
I woke up at 6 for school. I was a senior in high school.
Okay.
And I woke up, went downstairs, and my dad was watching TV. He's like, look. I was like,
did you check in with your Uncle Jihad at all?
we definitely called them and stuff, and they were fine.
Everyone
and everything.
was fine. That's good.
But that's bad. Jihad is good. Jihad is good. But they were good. Everything was fine. But yeah, everybody was just kind of in shock and went to school, and we just had the actually no, yeah, I ran down. Or, I mean, I got up like a little after 6, went downstairs. My dad was like, "Look, we were watching it," and then that's when the second plane hit.
Yeah.
It was like a couple minutes after
that's when
6.
everyone watched it live.
After, and then we were like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then we went to school. We were just watching it in every class. Basically, it was just kind of a dead day. Everybody was just the teachers weren't assigning homework or anything. We were just kind of
I feel like that's the one day you didn't want to see the TVs and the VCRs were like rolling into class.
Exactly.
Oh man. Yeah.
And I feel like news coverage really changed after 9/11 as well.
I think that started the nonstop news coverage.
Yeah. I really feel like I don't think news was like that until 9/11. Yeah.
The headline news. But yeah, like the news was, well, also I think fear became a big tool.
Oh yeah, fear mongering.
Yeah, I mean, not that it hasn't been.
Well, because
but that became like
so that sparked the war on terror, and
fear sells too.
But that hasn't ended. Now they've used the war on terror for how many elections now? It's never ended.
What a vague war.
Yeah,
like what are we fighting?
And basically, war on terror is like we don't like brown people. You know, like that's basically what it became after that.
Although there are lots of non-brown terrorists, so I was in calculus when it happened. I was in calculus, and then I got in trouble for something, and he put me in the hallway.
Oh, so you missed out on the news coverage in the hallway?
I came back in eventually, because, I mean, it was insane.
So you were in Florida?
Yeah, I was in Florida. And I just remember, I'm in Florida, so Florida kids are a hot mess. So, like, a bunch of people were like, I bet it's the Chinese. I bet it's the Chinese, and I'm like, oh my god,
The Chinese.
and then I find out it's not. I find out it's like, oh, it's the brown people, and
No, I think the Chinese.
Life
They're
changed.
just. I think the way the Chinese may go to war with us is if they just stop making our shit.
yeah.
Like if they're not making us the stuff anymore,
Yeah,
like
we're done.
We're done. Like
It's
we're
true. We
like
have to make our own stuff.
what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
And that stuff's gonna cost like $5,000.
I don't know how to make an iPhone.
You know, like I feel like H&M is going to be out of business. No more Forever 21. Like
That's true.
it's just no more fast fashion.
You know what I'm really worried about? When these Trump tariffs go in, the avocados are going to get stupid expensive.
They're already expensive.
I know,
Avocados
but like
come from China,
no, they come from
They
Mexico.
come from Mexico.
but it's
Yeah.
it's tariffs on just on general.
Yeah,
There's tariffs on everything.
He's putting tariffs on Mexico
On all the
because of the
imports.
whole wall shit.
Yeah.
So the avocados are going to get really expensive. Avocados is
So
going to be a
dumb.
luxury item soon.
Is it?
I mean, I
Avocado
think once
costs extra,
they're already like $2.
Yeah.
So once the tariffs go in, I mean, can you imagine? It's gonna be like a really expensive.
That's on the prime
avocado.
It's like
number
it's gonna
because-
be
Caviar.
a fruit for the rich.
Yeah, like a high top shelf fruit.
Yeah.
I feel like it already is.
It's like caviar and avocado.
It's gonna be fruit
Oh
for
my
the 1%
God.
rich.
Okay,
though.
listen, I can't. This is like a first world problem, but I get so like there have been a few times where I've paid extra to have avocado in my breakfast burrito,
Of course.
and they forget that shit.
Oh, no.
Oh my god! It might be a microaggression or whatever, but I'm so pissed when this happens.
avocado.
it's like-
first world, it's a crime.
yeah,
Like
It's fraud.
that is fraud. I've like legit claimed fraud. I'm that Yelper that's like, this is fraud.
avocado is such a comforting.
Like, how dare you forget my avocado?
And then
I paid for that shit.
And the burrito's already made, so it's not like you can
I
cut it up and
know.
stick it back in.
I know there have been
we can give it
times
to you on the side, like
there
on
have
a
been
plate.
times
but-
where I've like I took the burrito to work with me and then I brought it back
Yeah.
as soon as I opened it. I'm like, how dare you waste my time? Like,
it's terrible. No, it's so upsetting.
I know, like at a fast food place, you'd like dig in the bag, make sure you have everything. But what are you gonna
Yeah.
do? Open up a burrito?
Yeah.
Like check for the.
yeah, but it's like avocado is just so like, we're paying premium for that shit.
Having
already.
said that, I hate avocados in my burritos, but I understand if you
What?
pay for it.
What? How?
It's just not my
Are
thing.
you okay?
No.
Are
It
you
is
one
a
of those
fruit.
people?
I mean, it is a fruit,
Are you one of those people that's like allergic to avocados?
No, I like avocado. Like I like guacamole. I just don't like it in my burrito.
oh my gosh!
Interesting.
Wow.
It's not my
Wow.
thing.
I don't know if we can be friends now.
Different strokes,
the
man.
texture, yeah, it's like. On
Wait,
so many-
you're not a fan of avocado either?
Oh no, I love
okay, got
avocado
it,
for
got
sure.
it.
I didn't say I wasn't a fan. I just said I don't like it in my burrito.
There's a speaking of Game of Thrones, there's a comic in the East Coast. I heard him do this on stage, but he's basically like this homeless guy was selling dragon eggs outside a bodega. He's like, hey, $1 for a dragon egg for Game of Thrones season premiere, and it was just avocados.
Those dragon eggs did look like avocados.
Yeah.
Big ass.
And then like
Like
the comments
stale
like
avocados.
he walked past him and he's like, crazy people. I'm like, hold on, avocados for $1? Let me
That's
go
dirt
back.
cheap. Yeah.
Let me go back and get these dragon eggs.
Real cheap.
I'm like, what?
There was some article about like the ecological impact of raising a dragon. Like it said a trio of students ran the numbers by studying Game of Thrones.
I don't know.
Your thing reminded me of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So sorry, we should stop talking about Game of Thrones.
In a prestigious math competition earlier this year, contestants ran the numbers on raising dragons. Let's see how much it would cost to raise a dragon.
I feel like that would be a fire hazard. I don't think it would be legal.
This
I don't
is
know.
like way too long of an article. In 23 pages, the trio began determining the dragon's caloric needs, more than 1
Wow.
million a day, and rate of growth, even explaining why they're using a modified maybe you know this Burton-Lanfey equation. Do you know what that is? Bertol-Lan?
No.
Okay.
Were
Anyway,
you a math major, Sammy?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I just want
Do
the
you
number.
use
How much would it cost?
outside of comedy? Do you use your math skills at all?
I mean, I use them every day.
Yeah, aside from
Calculating
doing
the
math.
price of avocados. Yeah.
This is... See,
This
I
is
just need bullet
researching-
points, man.
Are you're researching
bullet points.
dragons?
Well, this is like a whole hypothetical article on Wired magazine about what it would be, because now you know how there's the Impossible Burger, and they're saying it's good for the environment because
Yeah.
there's less impact on it because you're not using animals.
I've had an Impossible Burger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still not as good as a regular burger, but
It depends how it's made. I mean, it's fine, but I think would dragons be good for our environment? But they were.
I mean, like it doesn't seem very sustainable to me energetically.
Can you eat dragons?
I mean,
They consume a lot of grass. They take up a lot of room.
yeah,
to raise.
like it just seems like a lot. Like
They breathe fire, carbon dioxide.
right. Like,
What about avocados? How long?
like?
Can you raise avocados?
Can I raise avocados? For the dragon, yeah.
Oh my god! But also, dragons are carnivores, right? So you have to like constantly be giving them. So I feel like that's not helping our cow problem.
I just think
you know?
it's not sustainable.
I don't know.
I don't think that's the environmentally friendly choice.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, dragons weren't around before she brought the avocados into the fire. Like, then dragons suddenly came back, and the environment was like,
I feel like we should stop talking about Game of Thrones because these two are not caught up.
Oh,
That's true. I mean,
have no
I
sorry,
apologize.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about Game of Thrones.
okay, yeah. I mean, these are like these aren't even spoilers at this point.
I do want to talk about something you guys care about.
Yeah.
So what are you, aside from Rami, what else are you binging on?
Nothing, actually.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you have like an obsession with lately besides Whole Foods?
What are you passionate about
Yeah.
these days, Sammy?
What lights your fire?
almond butter? I really like almond butter.
Nice. Which kind?
I get like 10 different kinds.
Oh, cool.
And I just take like a spoonful of each whenever I'm feeling
Oh,
like it.
nice.
There's this brand of
efficient.
almond
Yeah.
butter.
Efficient calorie.
Yeah.
There's this brand of almond butter that's like $15 a jar. It's Justin's or Justine's.
Oh,
And
yeah.
They do a maple almond butter.
Oh, wow.
Which is
Nice.
like heaven in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's also from Whole Foods.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dragons, almond butter.
Yeah, what's cool about California is that we grow our own almonds here,
do.
so it's like all local.
There is
Yeah.
a brand from New York, though, that's really good. Also.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
At
He
Whole
has a little
Foods?
raccoon on the front.
Oh,
yeah,
huh.
yeah.
I'll have to
Well,
check
if
that
we
out.
grow them in California, why are they so expensive?
Because I think they take a lot of
Well, the
resources.
butter's expensive,
To
yeah.
The
grow.
butter is like I don't understand why things are so expensive. I'm like being my mom now. Like, why is everything?
Well, I think
so
it takes a
expensive?
lot of energy or resources and water to grow the almonds.
They're just like dragons.
yeah, exactly.
They're like dragon egg.
Yeah.
I don't know what are you binging on these days, Priya?
Oh,
Priyanka.
the French sitcom.
The French sitcom. Speaking of French comedy, has anyone seen Huge in France on Netflix yet?
but I'm going to probably
With Gad.
Gad.
Yeah, but I don't know. Because they speak English in that show, so I think I'm not
That's
probably
a
not
turn
going
off
to be.
for
Yeah.
her. She just likes the French.
You,
French.
Yeah.
you just like them to be extra French.
Well, I like them to speak French.
What is it about Frenchmen that just like draws you to them?
Well, there's psychological reasons for that. Like, it's a long story, but there was this one person I met at a very young age that nothing ever happened, so it like planted this seed, and
Now you just want to fuck all the French dudes.
well, it's like I'm like trying to heal something that I never got type
Okay.
thing. But
Got it.
but now I think I've gotten over it.
That's what I think types are. When people say they're into a type of person, I think it's just like an ex that you haven't been able to get over.
Well, I think these sort of early, not childhood, but like your kind of earlier loves when you're still young.
your first loves, your first obsessions and
I
stuff.
think these have like really big impacts on your psyche because it's taken me several French relationships to be like, why do I
several.
keep...
So this is your type. Your type is French
Well,
dude.
I don't want to say that that's my type anymore.
You
'cause
like
I'm
French
doing-
fuckboys.
No,
That's your thing. That's what you're into.
I'm trying to do a lot of work to
How do you
like
say
evolve.
how do you say fuckboy in French? Like, is there
Trying to get some wee wee.
So yeah, I'm trying to evolve past that pattern because it's more of a pattern from a younger version of myself.
yeah.
So, but I've met all different types of.
So you're definitely not into American guys.
No. I mean,
Are you into American guys if they speak French?
Speaking of
Okay,
accent.
that like definitely makes it like way better.
Okay, got it. So you French speaking American.
But now I've changed. I'm like, I like guys who are bilingual or trilingual. Like, I like a guy that speaks more than just English. Like,
got it.
yeah, you guys are like, what?
No, I'm all for
yeah.
You know
think
what?
it's great.
I'm all for people who speak other languages because I love talking shit in other languages. That's
yeah.
like one of my favorite pastimes.
Totally. Yeah.
Like I would be in an elevator with my sister and some weird thing would be happening and we're just like talking shit about
yeah, no,
people
that's
in the
what
elevator.
I love. Yeah, it's like having a secret language then
Yeah.
that you can talk to them
For
about,
sure.
so.
For sure.
But
Sammy, do you speak Arabic? Do you ever just break out in Arabic randomly as your secret language?
I can say a few words, but I don't really speak it. I've been trying to get a tutor in it, but it's very hard to find someone to.
God, it's so hard to learn a language after 7 years old.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could. That's when I learned Urdu and Hindi, but then, I didn't really get an opportunity to speak it much in Florida.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I understand it better than I mean, probably if I was in the environment, if Zara spoke to me in Urdu, I'd probably pick it up at some point.
Yeah, I start speaking Urdu at 2 a.m. Once I've had, once I'm under the influence of other things and I have no inhibitions, I'm I don't care. Let's just talk in a different language that nobody else understands.
See,
it's great.
I wish you'd just do that now.
It's great. It's fun.
I'm trying to learn Urdu again.
I enjoy it. I also, so I cheated. I took Urdu courses as part of my humanities credits.
Oh, nice.
At NYU. So,
Cool.
You went to NYU?
Our humanities department was intertwined with NYU because I went to an engineering school and we didn't have hey, if you want to take liberal arts classes, go to NYU. So that's what we did.
You had to commute?
Yeah, it was a half hour door to door. It wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I took Urdu 101 and 201 and I'm this is fun. I learned how to read it.
That's cool.
And
Similar
write
to Arabic.
It's if you know Arabic, you can figure your way out. Yeah, it's Urdu is a very interesting language because it's spoken like Hindi, but it's written like Arabic. It's very weird.
The Indian Muslims or the South Asian Muslims are we're not Hindus.
We don't speak
we
Hindi.
speak the language, but we're not Hindus. There's take a whole other alphabet.
Have your parents ever put this in your minds that there's some other type of people or group of people that's better than what group of people you are? Because in my I don't know, growing up as a Pakistani, we everyone's oh, Arabs are so much better than we are.
Oh, wow.
Kind of thing. It was just oh, she must have a little Arab. If someone's really beautiful, oh, she must have a little Arab in her.
Oh, interesting.
It was just so weird. I'm what? You guys just embrace your identity. Why is everybody? Because for some reason, Muslims think that Arabs are the true Muslims, and I'm what? You just be who you are. I never understood that.
Yeah, it's pretty lame.
Yeah, my sister, whenever we go back to the motherland of Pakistan, there's a lot of colorism too, and my sister is way more light, she's more fair skinned than I am. So everyone's oh, she's very fair skinned. She has more of a Lebanese look, and that's okay. And then they look at me and they're yeah, you have more of a Bollywood look, and I'm what the fuck does that even mean?
Right.
I never understood that. Never.
Well, when I was in Saudi, there was different classes. Arab would be at the top of the chain, and South Asians would be lower.
Right.
And they'd be more of the working class there. The Arabs don't have to work. They just get money from the government.
That's how it is in Qatar and UAE, and you see a lot of Pakistanis, Indians just doing all the
they're the working class.
Work.
Yeah.
So stop treating us like shit, Sammy. That's not cool.
I will. Maybe if you stop taking the free samples. At Whole Foods.
That's not me. That's Priyanka.
I'm just sitting here with my French shows.
Oh, man. Well, Sammy's got to head out. But, Sammy, is there anything you'd like to say to our listeners? Where can they find you, see you, watch you?
You can find me on facial recognition, episode number. Sammy Obeid, I'm online. Last Comic Standing, 2015. 2 appearances. Dig up the archives. And I'm big in the Ali household, so.
Yeah, huge in the Ali household in
Very
Jersey.
famous in the Ali household.
Yeah, and catch him at your nearest Whole Foods at some point.
Yeah, I'll be at Whole Foods.
Catch him at his nearest Whole Foods. It was great to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a lot
Thanks
of
for
fun.
coming.
Have fun at your show.
Yeah,
Thank you
have
very much.
fun. Thank you for sticking
Yeah,
around.
my pleasure. I'll see
See
you guys
ya.
later.
All right.
Right.
Soon.
Priyanka, I guess we should probably wrap it up.
Let's talk some shit about Sammy now that he's gone.
We don't have to even do it in Urdu.
That math genius.
Do you speak Hindi, Priyanka?
Thoda sa.
Okay.
But you don't. But you're.
Little bit.
Are you Punjabi as
I'm
well?
Kashmiri.
You're Kashmiri. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kashmiri Pandit.
Wow.
So, did you spend time in Kashmir?
I couldn't, unfortunately.
Yeah, because of the
Genocide.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the war. You know.
I was going to ask because have you? Because Zara's Pakistani.
I have
Yes,
not.
I know.
I have not spent time in Kashmir.
No,
I've
Kashmir.
spent
It's a shame because
zero
Kashmir is so
time.
beautiful.
My parents have pictures from the border and stuff.
Right.
It's all beautiful.
So
yeah.
I went back with my family about now 5-7 years ago with a police escort just to see like where our ancestral home, like how everything was, and like it's all destroyed, everything.
Oh my God.
Like my dad's ancestral home got taken over by a military base, and then my mother's ancestral home is now occupied by complete strangers. So we lost everything.
That's crazy.
And when did this happen? Which generation did you guys lose the land?
So it all pretty much went down in 1991.
Yeah.
That was like the year where like my dad's brother was the last person to leave. My parents left in the 80s. They already kind of knew like shit wasn't going well.
Shit was
so they were like ready. They were already like planning to move to the States.
So were they had already gotten married and moved here as a couple? Okay.
Yeah. But like it's because things weren't going well in Kashmir. Like if things were great, they would have probably stayed. And then his brother was like the last person. And, you know, we always said in the family, like, you know, if Bobaji leaves, then like it's done. Like he was like in Srinagar, like born and raised, like hardcore Kashmiri Pundit, like, and we were like, he's never going to leave. But then we were like, oh shit, like the day he actually leaves, like, our entire, like, it's over.
There's no
like
family
we've lost
left
it all.
there.
And so everyone moved to Jammu and Delhi.
Was that what happened? You had to abandon the property, abandon the houses?
Yeah,
and
like so was getting death threats.
So that family moved to Delhi, and then your parents moved to the States.
They were already in the States by that point.
Oh, okay, got it.
Like they had moved there. I was born in the States.
Got it.
And so growing up, I never went back. Now, I was born before that happened, right? I was born in 1996. So, no, but...
Like Zara.
But so apparently I have, like, I did go as an infant. Like, there are, like, vague memories. But then by 91, like, everything stopped. And then, like, I never went until, like, 5 years ago. And it was really sad. But like I feel like Kashmiri pundits have really just either embraced the idea that like, look, it's over, like adapt and move on. But there's a lot of trauma. There's a lot of generational trauma. Like, and most, if not everyone in my family has PTSD, anxiety, a lot of mental health illnesses. It's the result of all of this. And it gets passed on too. You know, I suffer from anxiety and, you know, I'm pretty sure it has something to do with this.
Well, yeah, because your parents are your blueprint for being. So
and you can't recover from that in a single generation.
Yeah, it's going to take multiple
especially if you don't have the mindset that like, okay, I may have to get some treatment for my PTSD.
Yeah,
you know, so
totally. So
that's crazy. From one disaster to another.
Yeah. Have they sought treatment at all?
No. I mean, I've tried to talk to everyone about it, but I've decided to just let them be and just work on myself, you know, so that's the only way.
Yeah, that literally
you have to just let people, you can't like fix everyone.
Have the dignity of their own experience.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think one of the positives, I want to end on a positive note that definitely. We have is that like we've all become friends with like the show and like our green room sessions and stuff. And sometimes like we're all in it, right? Because like we're like dealing with like our, you know, whatever expectations our parents have on us, and you know, comedy's hard and all this stuff. So like sometimes we'll just be venting in the green room, and it's like, you know, like so, like one day I was just like, do you need a hug? You okay? You know, it's like sometimes like I have to tell people like your thoughts are all you have, so let's just have happy thoughts right now and get through the show. And then
I remember that. That was such a like I'll always remember your like emotional generosity during that time,
dude. And it's like I can understand it because like we're all like just dealing with our day, you know. And then I think we were at some show where it was a Desi show.
It was in Irvine. It
was in Irvine. It was a Desi show.
Oh, this wasn't an FRC show.
It was another ethnic central show. It was like one of those, it's like I felt a little triggered because it's like there's all these aunties and uncles,
that's
you know,
what it was.
and they're not feeling what I'm putting out there, you know, and it's like well, it's good to share this with somebody.
For sure. For sure. That's a good way to
gratitude. Able to support.
Yeah, just go out and hug your friends because we all need it.
Well, I mean, I think we get what we focus on, right?
Yeah.
So if we focus on what we don't have, well, then I think it's more of that. If we focus on what we want, then
Yeah.
That
True.
Yeah.
True.
And isn't it crazy? Like none of us
training though.
We're all a result of something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like before this conversation, I had no idea that like your parents had been through everything they've been through with Kashmir. And like you, Fizza, I've known for like 2.5 years. She has no idea about like this 9/11 day that I had with my dad.
Neither did I. Yeah.
And
So
it's like
amazing.
You know, talk to your friends because we're all going through some shit. You know, like it's all. You know,
This is true.
Yeah, the more you learn about someone, I think the more you can relate.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's an incredible story.
Yeah.
We should wrap up.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Where can we find you?
Oh, all over this thing called the internet. Priyanka Wali.
Priyanka Wali MD.
Or Twitter at Wali Priyanka.
Can they come to your Can they come to your doctor's office?
So if
Do you practice here?
In California, yeah.
But in locally?
my practice is up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if I didn't make that clear, Priyanka is like a regular on the facial recognition comedy shows. She's a very funny comedian, but you're also a doctor.
Yeah.
You're a GP, right?
Yeah, internist. Yeah, general practitioner.
I need a
Medical
physical immediately.
Actually, yeah, I have to talk to somebody about fainting like a couple months back.
You fainted?
Yeah, we could talk about this
Okay,
offline.
offline at dinner.
Yeah.
So if you want to reach me for comedy stuff, my website is priyankawali.com. But if you want to reach me for medical stuff, it's drpriyankawali.com. So you can just choose which one. I'm thinking about buying Wali comedy and then just like creating a link to priyankawali.com or drpriyankawali.com, but we'll see.
Yeah. I wanted to get fizza.com, but like Deep Foods, you know, the Indian.
Oh, they have it?
Yeah, they own fizza.com.
Dude, some Swiss guy owns Zara.com. He's had it for like 20 years.
That
and I'm
sucks.
like every year I'm like, when is this going to expire? When is this going to expire?
He's probably has it on automatic renewal.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Oh,
yeah.
well. Just get Zara.net or something.
I got really Zara.com.
Oh,
that's
great.
like with everything else. So eventually it'll be up. If anyone wants to work on my website, let me know.
Nice.
Slide up in my DMs, please.
More sliding DMs. We're Facial Recognition Comedy. You can find us at facialrecognitioncomedy.com, at Facial Recognition Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, Facial Rec Comedy on Twitter. We have shows coming up. Second Sunday of every month at Westside Comedy. We'll be at New York Comedy Club Gramercy on May 31st, which is a Friday.
11:30 p.m. Tickets are on sale now at the New York Comedy Club's website. Please enter code FRC for $10 off.
$10 off. Can't get better than that, except free. But like FRC is the best you're going to do. And then we have Irvine Improv on July 23rd at 8 p.m. And tickets are available, and we'll have the lineup for that soon. I'm Fizza Dasani. You can find me at Fizza Dasani, FizzaDasani.com. Zara.
Oh, and I'm Zara Ali. You can find me on all social medias as really Zara. Zara is spelled Zahra. Pallavi is not here today, but I don't know how to spell her name, but go find her.
PALLAVIGUNALAN. I did it!
Yes. All right. Go find her on all the things.
Priyanka, any last words?
Yeah, just drive home safe, everyone.